Hello and welcome to the Byram Hills Blitz. I'm Matthew Levy and alongside is my co-pilot, of course, Jesse Smallholtz. Jesse, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Excited to get started.
Now let's finish off with our second episode of the fall sports season recap. Today we'll be focusing on football, cross country, field hockey, and swim. And today we have a special interviewee in star football running back and captain, Matthew Weiler.
So we're going to start this episode off with swimming. 5 swimmers made it to sectionals this year. Julia Bartholomew, Casey Kaufman, Nicole Ramirez, Rena Lieberman, and Callie Higgins. Congrats to them. And overall, the 200 relay placed 28th overall in sectionals, the 200 free race placed 26th overall, and the 400 free relay placed 24th overall. Great job to all of them.
And in the field hockey world, Catherine Eisenhower and Vicky Vetteretti led this team to a 3-12-1 season. A tough season, but a great learning experience for these girls. What do you see for next year?
For next year, we're going to look for a bigger contribution from the sophomores and juniors and see them to step in a bigger role, and they'll be fine for next year. Next is cross country. 7 runners qualified for sectionals this year. Jared Alon, John Devanzo, Ricard Shoup, Max Cohen, Kevin Mucker, and Ben Chapman. And for the girls, Jen Moy qualified for sectionals. 2 personal records that we'd like to point out. Ricard Shoup with a PR of 19:55 and Ben Chapman with a time of 24:52. So great job to all of them.
And now let's move into a tremendous year. So varsity football, big year. They had a transition year moving down from Class A to Class B, and they had a great year, going 7-2 overall, 4-1 in the league, and they were led by captains Matt Weiler, who was a junior, and that is very rare, and we will interview him next. Tommy G, Nick Ferrante, both offensive linemen, and then brothers Nick and Cole Pica. What a year for them. They actually made it to the playoffs, won their both playoffs games against Bronxville and against Pearl River at home. Great crowds for both. And then we moved in to the sectional finals where unfortunately they had a tough loss, losing 55-27 at Mahopac High School. A lot of people were there, so great support from the community. To finish off, we have our interview with star junior captain Matt Weiler. Can't wait to interview him and see his insight on varsity football. Reaching the sectional finals this year for Byram Hills football was a big step up for them. How would you characterize this team and how were they so special?
What made this team special is just like the bonds created between the players, and like as Coach Carpenter says, like there's nothing more close than guys that play football besides maybe like an army unit. So just like us hanging out together and getting so close and being, the best friends in the world, I feel like that's what made it so special.
You're obviously an extremely important player on this team. What goes into being an important player and all those pressures that go along with that? And also, you being a junior captain, it's very rare to see a junior being a captain. What does that all mean?
It's just like hard work paying off, and like all these years, football's been my life for so long, just like constantly working on my craft and getting better every single day, every single year. And then like with being a captain, just being dependable for like other kids to look up to me, and like when they see me doing something, they know that's the right thing to do, so they can just follow that.
And then this year you had an injury in the middle of the season, which must have been very tough. How did you make an impact for this team off the field?
Being off the field, especially as one of the key players on the team, it's really hard, and it tests your mental toughness. So just me like congratulating and helping my best friends with what they're doing, even though I wish I was out there. But, just making the most of what you can do off the field.
How did you ensure that you were ready to come back?
Just by taking things like taking it shortly and like day by day, getting better and better, just progressing to, when I was finally able to be fully healthy.
And any good running back has to have a good connection with their entire team, but in your sake, specifically with the offensive line, how did you build that connection with them?
I just built that connection with them by giving them the respect that they deserve, and I know, the potential and how good all those kids are up there. So just by giving the recognition that they deserve in whatever they do, because they make me what I am, and they put the holes there for me to run through. So.
And next year you will be a senior captain. So what is the message you want to bring to your team, the younger players that will be new to the team? What is the message you want to send to them before the year?
Just like, not forget where you come from. And obviously this past loss for us, it's going to be like a bad taste in our mouth for next year. But just like to keep working harder and use that as motivation. So for next year, we don't repeat the same thing.
And the last question that we ask to all our interviews, who's one athlete that you look up to, someone that you try to emulate?
Even though I never really got to watch him play, I love the game of Jim Brown and, how physical and how strong he was, but at the same time how fast, which made him impossible to tackle.
Thank you for coming on. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back for our preview for the winter sports season. I'm Matthew Levy, and alongside is my co-pilot, of course, Jesse Schmalholtz. Jesse.
Nope. Say my name?
Jesse Schmalholtz.
That's perfect.
And today we have a special interview.
Sorry.
And today we have...
Hi. So we're in the middle of shooting a Byram Blitz right now.